There is a problem with the Nintendo Switch 2, and we're going to talk about it. Hello everyone, Lexitan Gaming, back again for another video, and today's video is a hot topic at the moment, the Nintendo Switch 2. It had a full direct at the start of the month, everything looked great. Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, the release date wasn't too far in the future, but there was one glaring omission from the direct itself, the price. And that's where today's conversation is going to be based, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because it sucks. Inflation, especially here in the UK, well, I don't know about everyone else, but definitely here in the UK, is mental at the moment. Everything's going up, constantly. All the bills you can think of, food, fuel for your car, just everything. And oddly enough, one of the only things that always pretty much stayed the same was video games. At the moment, the standard for a new game is approximately 50 to 60 quid, or pounds, whatever tickles your fancy. In previous generations, especially further back, prices varied game to game. For example, if you look at the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country back then, which was, the early 90s, was going for 55 to 60 quid, while Super Mario World went for around 50, if Google's not lying to me. The cost of video games, pretty much stayed the same while everything else skyrocketed. Yet granted, once PlayStation came out with discs, the cost for games was lower on that system. And obviously this largely being due to the amount that cartridges was actually cost to make. Seeing as it was up against the N64, it cost hell of a lot more to make an N64 cartridge compared to a PS1 disc. But then even with the PlayStation, those costs actually did start to rise when you look at PS3, PS4 games. But now this video isn't about that, it's about the Switch 2. And the issue that it has is that it is the first console from this generation to jump up to a higher price for their games. Some people would say dramatically jumped. £75 for Mario Kart World physical, which is what I get. Saying that out loud is a bit bonkers, to be honest with you. Because if you compare that to a new Nintendo game that came out in 2017, like Super Mario Odyssey, that started at around 60 and then went down to 50, and that was in the first month or two. So you could argue that that might happen with the Switch 2 library, but we're already starting much higher. So the end result would be what, 55, 60 quid? And as they usually do, if they don't like something, the fans are revolting. It can literally be seen on any of Nintendo's socials whenever they post anything to do with the Switch 2, or even not the Switch 2, you'll see the comments underneath saying drop the price. And I can't lie, it is hurting the hype of the Switch 2. You compare this to the Switch 1, where everyone was so excited because of this new thing that we were getting. It was handheld and it was a home console all in one. Everyone was losing their minds because Breath of the Wild, we'd waited years for that, and for it to be coming out on this new console on release date, it was crazy back then. And I don't know, comparing that to now, it feels night and day. And it's not so much myself, because I'm going to get excited over anything that Nintendo ever do, but I can see it in other fans that they are not, and people have told me they're just not getting one because of these price spikes. And it's pretty hard to argue with them, to be honest with you. On the actual game side of it, it's not that big. It's not a huge deal because they go into cost more. Eventually, they're going to go up. It's not going to stay like this forever. But another point people keep making is the upgrade from a Switch game to a Switch 2 game. I haven't looked into it, but it's like, 10, 20 quid more. If you've got Breath of the Wild on the Switch and you want to upgrade it to a Switch 2 version, with everything being, for the Switch 2 specs, people are saying other systems, other gaming companies will let you upgrade it for free. And in most cases, they're right. I can play a lot of my PS4 games on my PS5 as the PS5's version of the game. So everything is higher spec, higher quality, etc. But not Nintendo. And this is definitely an issue being raised with us consumers because it can be done. It could definitely be done. They've made I don't know the actual figure, but they've made millions off Breath of the Wild. Why do they need to charge us an extra 10, 20 quid, whatever, to upgrade it? Just give us a bit of fan service and chuck it on for free, like everyone else does. By all means, charge for the remaster. because Nintendo prices hardly ever go down. That's fair enough. But if you've already got the game, you've already put hundreds of hours like some of us have, why wouldn't you just let us upgrade it to the Switch 2 version, free of charge? I don't get it, but now I'm rambling. Doesn't make sense! And finally, the paid demo. Oh, this blew my fucking mind. If you're going to present something as a demo, why would you then tell us that we need to pay for the pleasure? Are you serious? That's the one that annoyed me the most, to be honest with you. Let me know how annoyed you are down below in the comments. Now, to be devil's advocate, for those who were bringing up the price of the console, $395 base, shut up. You've got to think, the PS5 came out over 100 quid more than what the Switch 2 is going to come out at. And it launched with hardly any games. I get it's more powerful than the Switch 2, but the uniqueness that the Switch 2 has, well, I say unique, the Switch added as well, the uniqueness that these consoles have is that they're portable. You can take them anywhere, you can play them anywhere, and to me, it negates the difference. And I've been PlayStation and Nintendo since I can remember, so I'm trying to be as down the middle as I can with this one. Now, of course, I'm no expert, obviously, so I would have no idea what a company should do at this point. Will they do anything at all? Probably not. I highly doubt they're actually going to have any trouble selling the consoles and the games to go with them, if I'm being honest. Are they being greedy? Yes. But will they struggle initially? It might not be up to the Switch standards, so maybe, yeah, depending on what they're expecting. And will they carry on being an absolute juggernaut in the gaming industry? Yes. I guess my advice is be more careful with the games you buy. Cheers.